Alright, I realize I haven't done a video in a long time. So I'm doing a video here on an old train station that I bought this Wednesday. The elderly gentleman, it's the same guy I bought 16 off of. This is the last. It was delayed because this property was actually in his wife's name. She passed away 3 years ago, I want to say. And it was never transferred over, so it took us quite some time to get this one closed on. This is actually an old train station built in 1860. The part we're in is the original structure. It's really kind of cool. This is the oldest property I own. The auditor's website says it was built in 1900, but through some research and stuff, the original structure that we're actually in was built in 1860. So it's pre-Civil War. It's an absolute terrible place. But we're going to go through and get it all cleaned up. I paid $30,000 for it, which is probably too much, but oh well. It's going to need a lot of work. The owner of this gave all his properties more or less to his son to manage. And the son put in pieces of crap who didn't want to pay anything. The property was never maintained properly. And as a result, out of the 4 apartments here, only 1 is occupied. I mean, this apartment I'm standing in isn't too terrible, yet no one's living here. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, and if I buy things, you know, on average of a 5, you know, this apartment's like a 3. So it's not too bad, but it's vacant and it needs some help. And that's what we'll get in and do. This is one of 4 apartments. So this one isn't bad. This apartment's gonna be pretty easy to turn over. But the next one that we're going to get in, you'll see it's awful. So this one, you know, it is what it is. It's not too bad. But for $40,000 for a pre-Civil War building, I thought it was pretty cool. I've been busy. I'm up to 71 rentals now, which is kind of cool. This apartment over here has been vacant, I hear, for 2 or 3 years. It's absolute garbage. If we could burn this one down. Ooh, cool. Hey. Anybody want a needle? Anyway. So this one's full of trash. It's been full of trash forever. Here we've got maybe a roof leak. I don't know who in the right mind will put a plastic bag to cover drywall like that, but some brain surgeon, I guess. The windows are crap. This whole place is crap. But it can be nice someday. And I'll try and take a walkthrough video of it once we get it cleaned up, but it'll look brand spanking new once we're done. Well, it'll look relatively good. We're in the section that was built in 1900 right now, not the 1860 section. The floors are terrible. We need new windows. There's animal crap all over this one. But, I mean, I think the original structure's okay. I think it's too terrible. I hear there's bed bugs everywhere. I'm sure there's roaches. That's where there's bed bugs. There's almost always roaches. But, kind of shows you how people live. But we'll get this one cleaned up. We'll probably be in here a month. The only thing I don't know about at this point is the siding. We'll have to re-side the building. I've only done that once. Well, no, twice on other properties. And here's the back porch, which we will have to tear down and rebuild. I don't trust this wood. But if we look out here, I'm not going to even stand on this thing. But if we look out here, here's the old rail bed for the, I want to say CH&D railroad that came through Ohio back in the mid-1800s. I think they founded in 1853. This is the old rail bed. They were purchased in 1915 or 1916 by B&O. And then B&O was purchased later on, I think, by CSX Transportation. So CSX, since they're the successor of the original CH&D railroad, they maintain all this grass area. This is where the railhead was, or whatever. This was this part of the train station. I'm standing in the train station right now. I'm told where this deck is right now. This deck overlooking this was the canteen. So they actually had a restaurant. here at one time. If you look up the road, you can see that brick building, but there's a series of buildings on this street, and I'll actually go out and show you. But this whole part of town, for several blocks, other than all the way up to where the railroad is still, it was all for the CH&D railroad, and then later B&O. All the buildings on this road were for the operation of the train system. So if you look down East 2nd Street, which is where I'm actually at, and you look at all these buildings here, you would see that there were motels, restaurants, and housing for the people that worked on the railroad. I actually bought the manager of the railroad's house, his personal house, which is 3,600 square feet, built in the late 1800s, and looking that way is downtown. So that's what this is. Well, it's what's going on with this one. Talk to you later.